Welcome to the Ghost Finders. I'm Rob Thompson. For the last 60 years or so, Kathy Hegland has lived, a little girl grown up on this property with her family, and they have experienced all manner of alleged paranormal activity. Everything from shadow figures to disembodied voices to apportation, being touched, and cryptoids even. If it's here on this property, it's haunted. A strong recommendation from a good friend of mine, paranormal investigator Mr. Daniel Clace. He's going to be joining us tonight. We just had to bring you to the Bergen House in Upstate New York on this week's episode of the Ghost Finders.
The house and the grounds all have alleged activity. Yeah. So why don't we take a walk to the backyard and you tell me a little bit about what's happened back there.
Okay.
And you have such a beautiful property. I didn't realize how much land was actually attached to the house.
1.8 acres.
Nice. And it's beautiful.
Yeah.
There's so much room for activity.
Yeah, a lot. Now, we heard the train go through.
Yeah, we heard the train a little earlier.
The orphan train used to actually stop up here. And some of the families that lived here would actually get the orphans off the train and they'd use them to work here on the farm with them.
Oh my gosh, wow.
Also, with the Underground Railroad running through this area, it is documented historically that they used to chase the escaped slaves across the marl beds, which is like just on the other side of these cattails, across my mother's property. And they used to hang them in the trees when they caught them.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So much history here.
And trauma, just tragedy.
A lot of trauma, a lot of tragedy, very sad stories.
We've had drownings. There was a drowning of a 12-year-old boy here on the property.
Gosh, like within the swamp or
we're
the cistern
sure.
or?
We're not, no, I don't think it was within the house itself. I think it was somewhere on the land. The history records really don't say where, just that it occurred here. But they've gotten amazing EVPs out here and amazing footage on their SLS cameras. Do you feel the difference?
My hair stood up.
And when it gets dark, it'll be even more pronounced.
It's like sticking my head in a bubble, if that makes sense. And
Feel the pressure in your ears?
yeah, but it doesn't it doesn't do the clear audience thing, right. But I felt it
like you're underwater in a pool.
Yeah, and I felt that the first time I felt that was at Eastern State Penitentiary, walking through the corridors. Like there was one where it was just like, so you just felt like you were underwater. Yeah. And that's what it feels like.
It actually sounds like boots walking across this metal roof.
Oh, wow.
I've been in here at night and you could hear the feet walking across the top of the roof.
Wow. There's just...
Yeah, and this little loft window thing here, several people have gotten pictures of children up there, sitting like Indian style, a little boy and a little girl, and it actually looks like they're playing jacks.
Wow. I'm having a deja vu about that.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Because that's not online.
No.
There's no like interviews about that, so I wouldn't have seen that.
Right.
The only having deja vu. My deja vu's been crazy since we got here last night, and well, I don't know, not all of it was good. So this is your living room?
This was our living room. I actually helped my dad build it and put these beams up here.
And I see you guys are in the process of restoring.
Yeah, we replaced the roof and now we're going to replace the ceiling.
Great, great. So can you tell me about this room?
There's a man that stays in this room. A lot of people have photographed him from the outside looking in. Mm-hmm. You'll see a black silhouette and you'll see like the collar on his jacket. You know, it's that clear. He can talk to you out loud if he chooses to. I had a jacket in a chair over here. And I saw it happen in real time because we were eating lunch out there. And something pulled my jacket off the back of the chair into the seat of the chair. And then from the seat of the chair, it just flung it on the floor.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe that is his chair.
It could be.
Well, I'll be sure not to let any of our people put anything on the chair tonight. And I guess you're going to join us in here again tonight when we do a little bit of a seance to try to get things started.
I don't think you'll be disappointed. These are bad. This is the closet.
It felt very dense.
Yeah, it's hard to breathe in here.
Yeah, well, just like coming up the stairs is like a different atmosphere.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like actually atmospheric, like, you know, humidity and stuff, but just felt instantly harder to breathe.
It is, and it gets worse at night.
Oh, great.
Once it gets dark, it's like day shift is off and night shift is on. The whole house feels completely different.
Well, what can you tell me about the blue room?
Well, this was my older sister Linda's room. And we always used to avoid this room because so many weird things would happen in here. This closet is the one they actually believe was a portal, or is a portal. Mm. A lot of spirits come in and out of this closet. And I was laying up in bed here one time with my boyfriend, later to be my husband. And he was a skeptic. And he was like, oh, there ain't no such thing as ghosts, you know? And I'm like, please don't do that. He's like, why? I said, they don't like it. Please don't do that. Mm-hmm. So he kept doing it. I said, please, you're going to have to leave. You know? And we were laying there when we were watching TV, and something came out of this closet. Didn't see anything, but you could hear it. And in between the headboard and our heads, like here, our heads would be here, like here, it was this. The whole way across the bed.
Like someone was walking behind your head?
Yeah, but it wasn't like a foot, like this, heel, foot, toe, you know, it was like this. And it was enough that as you were laying there, your head kind of went.
Ooh.
Yeah, and you didn't hear it go off the bed.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't hear it go up the wall. You didn't hear it on the ceiling. It was just like to the other side of the bed and gone.
Wow.
Yeah. I ended up going downstairs to sleep on the couch, and he actually went home.
Probably would have left too.
This room out here was actually 2 rooms when I was a child. This side was my brother's bedroom, and then there was double doors here, and my sister and I, my younger sister and I, shared this room. This was like a huge closet that my dad ripped out. In this room, I was probably about 14 or 15 when it started to happen. Every night, there would be a man that would stand right here in the corner. And it was every night. So after a while, I got brave enough and I started to try to talk to him. Mm-hmm. And I didn't think it was that bad after a while, because I would see him try to cover up my little sister, and and then he'd go stand back in the corner. And I asked him his name, and he wouldn't tell me his real name, but he told me I could call him Robert. Mm-hmm. And he said as long as he stood there, I'd be able to sleep, because the other spirits in the house were afraid of him.